What's good, y'all? I've got some sick buffs for my boy Tentacruel. I love Tentacruel. He's an awesome denied, super underrated Pokemon in my opinion. So, with that being said, before I get into how awesome and strong and really fun these buffs are, I want to have a couple disclaimers for anybody who is new here, who's just clicking on this video. First of all, welcome. Second of all, if you check out the description down below, there is a link to the Google Sheet that I'm sharing on screen right now. And it's extremely in-depth, it's very detailed. I've got every single Pokemon on there. I'm currently going back through Gens 1 to 3 and reworking them a little bit more and updating them, which I'll get to in a second with Tentacruel, because those of my returning viewers or my loyal fans probably already know how many times Tentacruel has been reworked in this hack. He's gone through a lot of changes. So yeah, every single Pokemon is massively buffed in this hack. There's a lot of really cool new moves and item buffs and changes and type stuff and all types of crazy things that you can check out in the description. Most importantly, if you check this little tab here, it says search all moves here. You can check out all 600 plus move buffs and changes. There's all these little categories. You can navigate to each of them by clicking on them with all these types and everything. It's got so many different categories, and you're doing yourself a huge disservice if you're not checking out this move sheet, because again, I buffed and changed the vast majority of moves in the hack, and it's something you're going to want to look at, to understand how the Pokemon function. Excuse me. So, with that being said, Tentacruel has two incredible abilities in Energy Shield and Adaptability. All Pokemon in this hack are balanced to have two great abilities that they can switch between, with an infinite use ability capsule, depending on the situation. In this case, you have one very good defensive/utility ability and one great offensive ability. In the past, Tentacruel's gone through many different renditions. I had Neuroforce, I had Luminescent, which was very mid. It was a 10% accuracy boost, not... I mean, back when I was doing the cancel changes like 6 months ago, that was good enough, but not anymore. Power creep and stuff, even through mid-development is a thing. And there was a couple other ideas I had, but I ended up settling on Energy Shield and Adaptability because it gives you one defensive option and one offensive option. I would say for a lot of fights, Energy Shield is better, but with that base 100 speed and that one-time special attack, Adaptability is still very strong, especially with your newfound coverage, of which you have many, many good ones. I also initially had Tentacruel as a mixed attacker because I personally like the idea of a mixed Tentacruel with those tentacles and that little beak, claw, mouth thing he's got going on. But he didn't have the base stat total for it. 550 is already generous, but there are plenty of other two-stage 550 Pokemon in this hack. I don't think Tentacruel fits it as well as some of the others, but I think he fits it well enough. And I just really fucking like Tentacruel, so I decided to give him that 550 status. Otherwise, it'd be 535, and he would just have like a little bit less special attack probably. And this is a lot cooler, anyways. So yeah, as you see on screen, it says Black Sludge's buff, so that also makes Energy Shield incredible. You do have Rehydrate, which is water type recover at level 21, so you'll have that for the majority of the game, and then towards the midway through Ula Ula Island, once you beat Totem Mimikyu and stuff like that, you'll get the move Strength Step, which fits Tentacruel very well in my opinion, because his whole, he like brings the prey in and sucks in their energy with like his mouth parts and stuff. I think it's a cool ass move. It's a very widely distributed move in this hack. A lot more Pokemon have it. I think it fits Tentacruel really well, and it's really, really fun with that Black Sludge and with that Energy Shield. So if you are new here and you don't know what this does, first of all, if you ever do watch my videos and you don't know what an ability does, you can just click that Google Sheet and it'll take you right to the link right here. It'll show you exactly what it does. But since I didn't cover it right away, Energy Shield functions like multi-scale essentially. However, it also can't be bypassed like by Mold Breaker and other moves, which is slightly better. But overall, it's basically multi-scale, and you don't have to worry about entry hazards in game. That's not a factor. The only boss fights who are going to use entry hazards are like Guzma and Plumeria, and maybe a couple others with T-Spikes and Sticky Web, which aren't affected by don't affect multi-scale anyways. So yeah, that's incredible with that buff Black Sludge alone. You can literally just use Protect, Black Sludge, Energy Shield, and just take a hit, switch in, Protect for a few turns, and you can stall with Toxic, and he lives forever. And he has a great speed stat as well, so you can actually heal off before the opponent can hit him back. You can run all different types of EV spreads on Tentacruel. You can run max speed, max HP. You can run max defense, max HP. You can run max death, max HP. You can run max speed, max special attack. It just depends on the situation, because there's so many boss fights in this game. You're going to be switching up your EV spreads and your move pool with that infinite usability capsule, with the infinite EV training items that you can use to quickly switch around your EVs. It makes Pokemon that can do many different things, which is pretty much every Pokemon, much better, because you have that flexibility and that freedom to change around what you're trying to do. So yeah, that's awesome for Tentacruel. As for the logic for the abilities, Energy Shield, I think that fits very well with his whole weird orb vibe. He's got like that weird crystal on his head and stuff. And then Adaptability is kind of just a generic ability that can fit a lot of different Pokemon. I try not to slap it on too many Pokemon. In fact, there's not that many adaptability Pokemon in this hack. Not because it's broken, because honestly, there's a lot of better boosting abilities in this hack. Even stuff like Tough Claws and Ruthless are a little bit stronger depending on the Pokemon and their dual stab. But, adaptability is still a great ability, of course. I'm not trying to downplay it. There's not too many adaptability Pokemon in this hack. It's just a coincidence that it was right after Victory Bell. There's not too many of them. You can always just click that Google Sheet and Control plus F and look at all of them. There are all types of other boosting abilities, but my point was adaptability is a very nice offensive option for Tentacruel with that base 110 special attack. You got all types of really good special moves. On the physical side, you also have some decent coverage for very niche circumstances. Obviously, your physical attack stat is not the greatest, but you can still use like Coil very early on. I gave it to them at level 35, which is a lot earlier than you get TMs like Calm Mind and Nasty Plot, which they do get now. Oh, I actually didn't. No, Calm Mind is there. Yeah, I was gonna say what the hell. And then they also have stuff like Acid Armor, which gives them +3 defense, so they can use that to become super tanky. You have Power Glow, which gives you +3 special attack. It has the same PP as Nasty Plot. They both only have 1 PP. I would say Power Glow is kind of, like, not that great, but it's good for certain boss fights. But the thing is, you can't reteach Power Glow. Meanwhile, you can reteach Nasty Plot, so a bit situational, but it's still a good option to have. Z Acclimate is very cool with adaptability. If you would just come off the... If you just came off the Victory Bell video, you already know what this does, but basically it matches your type to the top of your learn set. So what you can do is you can use Z Acclimate, get +1 to all your stats, get +1 speed, become super fast, +1 defenses, become super bulky, +1 special attack, become super strong, and you can get stab on any of your incredible coverage moves because you have a giant array here. I think all of these coverage moves fit Tentacruel really well because he is this weird, like, squid, jellyfish, alien type dude. So I see him using moves like T-Bolt and Thunder and Charge Beam personally. He's got all types of really fun moves though. So yeah, that's a really good option for late game. Of course, that's very late in the game. And also, boosting options aren't like the best thing in the world, especially in a hardcore Nuzlocke, which is kind of what this hack is bounced around somewhat, at least if you're an experienced player. Otherwise, you got great utility throughout the game. You've got Parting Shot. Again, that Energy Shield is huge. That's great just to switch in on attacks. You don't even have to use Energy Shield to set up, because I know a lot of competitively minded players might be thinking, okay, well, Multiscale is good for, you know, setting up. You can use Multiscale plus, or Energy Shield plus Calm Mind or Nasty Plot. And it's like, yeah, you can do that. But that's not the main use of it in a hack like this. In a difficult hack where all the Pokemon are super strong, you're going to want to have that defensive utility with stuff like Parting Shot and Strength Sap and Strange Impulse, which drops the special attack stat by 2, and, you know, poisoning moves and all you acid spray, you know, all types of good utility stuff. It's not just the funny adaptability one. That's actually probably the lesser thing that Tentacruel can do. I would argue that Energy Shield is a lot more useful for certain fights. Not that adaptability is bad, because it's not. It will never be bad. For a lot of certain boss fights, depending on the type matchup and your other teammates and your specific Tentacruel's nature and IVs. For example, if you've got like a timid, you know, good speed IV hit Tentacruel, then you'd probably be more likely to run adaptability for certain fights because you can actually outspeed things. But 100 base speed with like 15 speed IVs, even with max investment, is not going to outspeed things that you would expect it to outspeed, because the AI is going to have max IVs and you know, the most beneficial nature. So that's part of the challenge of the hack as well. The game will be a lot easier if you are also guaranteed good IVs and, you know, the nature that you want. So yeah, that'll make it a lot more fun as well, and that'll add a lot more variance to what type of Tentacruel sets you're running. Again, bulky sets are great, offensive sets are great, bulky offensive sets are great, pure utility sets are great. It's got so many different options, and that's really fun. I don't really know what else to say. Adaptability, I think, logically also fits. I didn't cover this yet, but hopefully anybody who's interested is still listening. Adaptability, I think it fits well enough. First of all, it's like an ability that fits literally anything anyways. But I think it does fit him as like this weird deep sea type creature. You know, like they are known for having that like adaptable nature, I guess. I don't know if that's making sense, but I don't want to dwell on it too long. I just think it fits his vibe as this weird little deep sea creature guy. Not that he's necessarily a deep sea creature, but just this weird, strange ocean creature is what I'm trying to say. So I think adaptability fits fine. Energy Shield, very fitting, both very cool. You've got all types of powerful stabs, like I said. You got, you know, Sludge Wave, 110 base power, 90% accurate. You've got Hydro Cannon, 150 base power. It's basically water type Draco Meteor. Good coverage moves of all different kinds, all types of great utility moves. So overall, Tentacruel would be an absolute blast to use. I would prefer using him over like Toxapex or something. All of the water poison types are great though. Pukumuku being almost purely utility, is by far the bulkiest of all of them. You know, Peck's having Regenerator and the fun little Merciless set, and then Quillfish has Intimidate, which is a great defensive tool in this hack. He's still, you know, he has that signature move Deflate, which is pretty cool. You can go check out that video for now. It might be a bit outdated. I'll probably end up re-recording it when I get to it, but Yeah, my point was that all the water poison types have their own little unique things that they can do and their own unique sets of abilities and stat distribution and stuff. So I think that's super fun. Tentacruel and Quillfish are probably the more offensive of the two, with Quillfish having Instinct, which functions like download. So that's really fun and strong. And then Tentacruel having adaptability as one of his two abilities. So yeah, that's all really fun. Thank you so much for listening. I think I'll leave the video off there. But lastly, I will touch on a couple more things you can do with Energy Shield. Again, that utility stuff, like even just getting off a Toxic, like Energy Shield versus Totem Pokemon, for example, is really useful. And just in general, for all types of trainer fights, the Energy Shield is great. You can use Strength Sap, and you can literally never lose that Energy Shield. Like, plus, dude, Strength Sap plus Black Sludge plus Energy Shield is like permanent. Like that, you're gonna have that Energy Shield for a long time, and you can just Toxic Stall a couple of Pokemon on their team. Although keep in mind, Strength Sap only has 5 PP, but if you use Protect and Black Sludge, you know, in 2 turns you're getting 24% recovery. It's kind of overpowered on Poison types, but I love Poison type, so I wanted to make it one of the best types in the game because of that buff, Black Sludge, and just because of the fact that they all have really good tools now. So yeah, and they're also, you know, they get exclusive access to Toxic. Only a few other Pokemon besides Poison types get Toxic, so via level up. I just think it's really fun. I love Poison type. Tentacruel's sick. So yeah, if you listen this far into the video, let me know down in the comment section below what you think. Let me know if you did listen this far into the video. I would appreciate just to know for like the analytics, for people who do listen this far in, or if I'm just wasting my breath. But I appreciate it nonetheless. And I'll be back for more coming up. Peace.